Hi everyone, it's Ananda from Galactic Mystic. Today I'm going to talk to you about the composite sun, and we're going to go through all the signs. If you have not watched my video on what the composite chart is and what it tells us, I do recommend that you take a look at that either before you watch this video or after, just so that you know what my take on it is. And I will put the link for that down below. Okay, the composite sun. Just like in our individual natal charts, where the sun represents our vital essence, it's the filter that our soul shines itself through in this lifetime. The composite sun is the vital essence of the relationship, as if it was its own entity. It is its own entity. That's what the composite chart is. And it tells us what the relationship needs in order to stay, thriving, to have energy in it, to be vital. Tending to this energy of the composite sun is incredibly important because it acts like a natural, like a buffer or like an immune system for the relationship. Because, life has its ups and downs, and, the individuals in the relationship have their own ups and downs. But when the composite sun is well taken care of, the relationship stays strong even while other things are happening around it. And the bond stays vital. That's what we want, right? A vital bond with our partners. This makes the relationship a pleasure to be in, and it makes the relationship a pleasure for others to be around. And probably you know a couple that has this type of radiance about them, or perhaps you've been or are in a relationship where you can really tell that the vitality of the relationship is strong. There's a radiance about it. Again, each individual can have their own like dark nights of the soul and have their own ups and downs, but the relationship stays strong. So with that in mind, you may already be wondering, well, maybe it's a lot to tend to a relationship when you're having your own individual stuff that's taking a lot of your energy. And this is where sometimes the composite sun's needs are at odds with the needs of one or both of the individuals. And this can explain why some relationships are not successful. You've heard the stories where two people who are really introverted, shy people, and they fall in love with each other, and then all of a sudden they're like skydiving and scuba diving in Cuba and motorcycling cross country, and it's like they become an entirely different person. Chances are that they are working from the composite sun perspective, but as individuals, how long can they maintain that? Can they keep that relationship vital while maintaining their own health and wellness? And sometimes not. But if you are aware of your composite sun energy, astrological energy has to express itself or manifest somewhere. And so the idea is that if we are aware of the energy, we can consciously give it a place, to exist, a place to be, and a right to be there. It isn't about trying to change it or make it be something else. So if we know what the composite sun's needs are, we can consciously try and fulfill those, and it'll make a difference in the relationship. Okay, so let's go through the signs and talk about what it's like in each sign for the composite sun. The composite sun in Aries. With this composite sun, the relationship really, it's about the warrior aspect of each individual. Aries is a courage-seeking sign. And unfortunately, when this energy goes sour, that's when it becomes like a combative, fighting energy. But the key with this in the composite is to be on the same team, warriors fighting side by side. And so that may seem a little abstract. So imagine that you know how whitewater rafting, how it takes two people moving their oars and paddling in perfect rhythm and power in order to evade the rocks and the rapids. That's a very Aries and Sun activity where you're working together to either achieve something or to conquer something or to be fearless. They can never allow fear to control them, meaning they can feel fear. It's fine to feel fear. It's not about that. It's about not making decisions based on fear. If they start doing that, they may feel the vitality of their relationship sort of slipping away a little bit. With the Aries composite sun, it's like an us against them, like Bonnie and Clyde. It's like, you know how if you have kids, Christmas Eve, there are things to assemble, you know, the two of you busting your butts to assemble everything and trying to keep the kids from walking in and seeing and playing Santa Claus and all of that. That's the two of you playing on the same side, being a team to achieve something. This is where you will learn to lean on each other. And that's that trust. Like, you can imagine what it must be like for two warriors who have been fighting side by side for a very long time, the trust and bond that develops. That's the core energy of the composite sun in Aries. They have the courage to lean on each other. And it doesn't always have to be something really dramatic, like, you know, chasing danger and adrenaline, but it might be sometimes. But also it takes courage to be vulnerable. And so the emotional courage cannot be downplayed here. Inner bravery is really what this is about. There will probably be arguments, passion. This relationship is pure fire. So really, you're going to argue. The key is to turn it around as fast as you can. Saying I'm sorry takes courage. Admitting you're wrong takes courage. All of those things are valid and true ways to feed the vitality of a relationship that has composite sun in Aries. Okay, composite sun in Taurus. When I think of what the home of a couple who has this composite sun might be like, I always think of a hobbit house. I always forget to do my phone. You know how, you know, the hobbit houses have, you know, the nasturtiums growing on the outside and they're inside the earth and there's always super cozy. There's a fire going and probably hot chocolate or just something delicious. It's very comforting. There's probably, you know, a lot of animals and plants. Taurus energy is about creature comforts. It's about the part of us that is an animal. It's very natural. A couple with this composite sun probably does have a lot of animals and maybe they like to garden, or that's something they could do together that would really feed this energy about them. There's also something here about nonverbal communication is really, really nice for this composite sun. Hugs, sex, eating together, walks in nature. Too much talking it out or like circular, stressful talking can really put a damper on the vitality of this relationship. But you can't sweep things under the rug either. So there's a balance to be found. You can't ignore problems. Taurus Sun likes stability, likes creature comforts, likes peace and no drama. So any kind of drama and like BS is really going to damage this bond. And yeah, it's really about just being real and getting in touch with the peaceful animal within. This couple probably listens to more music than they watch TV. There's peace between them. Their home is peaceful. Dancing, slow dancing probably would be a really nice activity for them. Yeah, but no drama. Mm-mm. Things like, you know, texting your ex on bathroom breaks, or like just any kind of mess like that isn't going to work with a relationship with this composite sun. Okay, Sun in Gemini. So if a couple has their composite sun in Gemini, the relationship really likes a fast pace. They might like to live in the city. They might like to have a lot of company. They might like, you know, have game nights and stuff. This is the kind of relationship that likes it when, you know, you probably don't have to call before you show up, or like bring an extra person. You don't even have to let them know. They're like, yeah, you know, great, more the merrier. There's a need for conversations that lead to more questions. They're attracted to each other's intellect usually, or the like brain sexy or word sexy, things like that. Learning a language together would probably be a really fun activity for them. Banter, changing plans, being non-committal, waiting to see, conversations that create more questions, like I was talking about before, and just like, you know, all the stimuli. Good communication, of course, goes a long way here, but making sure that you take the time to listen and the time to communicate. It has to go both ways. Doing the same thing every day, or thinking they've got everything figured out and having no mystery in the relationship will really sort of drain the vitality of a Gemini composite sun. Sun in Cancer, composite sun in Cancer rather. So this is an interesting one, because a lot of times we think of Cancer being one of those holy grail signs that you really want your composite sun to be in. And there is a reason for this, but it doesn't mean that every couple who has a composite Cancer sun is and should run off and get married and be together forever and ever, because that may not be their path. But the thing about a composite Cancer sun is that this relationship will need a commitment, but not too soon, but not too late. There's a sweet spot here, because with a Cancer sun, you know, you need to date a while, you need to court, you have to build that trust slowly, and you know, that takes time. You can't rush that. The purpose of the dating is to create a commitment and a bond that feels safe, but actually also is safe. Because once Cancer energy puts down its shell, this couple hurts each other, it's gonna really hurt them. It's really, really deep when they hurt each other. And so you want to do as little of that as possible. And commitment, deep commitment, is one of the first ways. This is the type of relationship where they make each other their home. The relationship is their home. The relationship is their safe place. The relationship, the bond is the place where they go for healing. It's really pretty badass, actually, to make this kind of radical commitment that this composite sun needs. If they do decide to make the commitment and they make a home together, they may find themselves attracting stray animals, or collecting stray animals. And also people who are in need of healing may just sort of find their way to their doorstep. They act as a couple, they act as a beacon of healing and comfort for people if they have a vitally bonded Cancer Sun energy going on. Sun in Leo, composite Sun in Leo. So this couple wants to get dressed up for each other and go get some dinner, go dancing. They want to go see stand-up comedy. They really need to, the relationship needs a flirtatious vibe, a fun vibe. They need to be seen. And it doesn't, like, it's not like an egotistical thing or a vain thing. It's just, you know, Leo is the king. It isn't that he needs to rule or that this couple needs to rule. It's more like they need to feel beautiful together. Like they should take a Latin dance class, or, you know, maybe join a theater club together, do something together that is creative where they are seen together. It's the kind of thing where they feel more beautiful when they're together as a couple. So being too rigid or cold or not having any fun, not having a sense of humor, being stingy, those types of things will diminish the vitality of this relationship. Leo energy is warm and generous. And so anything that they do together that reflects that energy or feels that way is going to feed the bond. I often think of it as like, I always think of Santa Claus as being kind of a Leo character, so jolly and warm and inviting and generous. He gives us all the gifts. And then Scrooge is like, you know, miserly and grumpy. And, you know, so it's like, be more Santa Claus and less Scrooge. Sun in Virgo, composite Sun in Virgo. So this couple, Virgo energy is often very misunderstood. It's a very complex energy. It's about being able to have an idealistic vision or a vision of perfection or a goal, and then being able to see all of the things that we need to do to attain that. So this couple will want to continually work on their relationship. They're going to want to talk about things, talk about ways that they can improve without being defensive, and then actually implement small improvements over time. Virgo energy gets a bad rap about perfection and fussiness and nitpicky. And, you know, that is some of the trash can Virgo energy for sure, but it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to usually nitpick. The nitpicking energy comes in when that first part of, like, usually the nitpicking comes in when there hasn't been any growth or any discussion about growth or an implementation of a plan for growth. That's when the nitpicking comes in. So if these two can manage to, like, just keep improving, keep getting better, and to be able to communicate about it, they're going to be golden. Of course, they do well in service work together. They can volunteer together. They can help a neighbor together. There's a definite thing about service with this couple. They just have to watch out for nitpicking, because Relationship, vitality, and nitpicking generally don't go well together, even for a composite Virgo sun. Just be open to continual growth and you'll be good, vitally good. Composite sun in Libra. So Libra is another one of those kind of holy grail composite sun signs because it rules the natural house of marriage and one-on-one relationships. Excuse me. It was uncomfortable there. Okay, so Libra sun. So Libra is about maintaining a relationship that has harmony, balance, equality, fairness, and mutual respect. A lot of times, it can go two ways. A lot of times these couples will either resemble each other or they'll be kind of opposites that balance each other out. Like one can be really tall, maybe one is shorter, maybe one is really artsy and the other one is more mathematical or logical. One can be really gregarious and the other one is more introverted. It's just it's an interesting dynamic where it just kind of seems like together they balance each other out. And they seem like a good pair together. They seem like they belong. And usually people think that they, you know, are a good couple. They seem like they should be together. They probably would enjoy having a beautiful home, hanging art in their home, having a lot of light in their home, putting in more windows. They really need to maintain a little bit. They need to flirt with each other, maintain some romance. They need to light a candle. They need to bring beauty into everything that they do. Lighting a candle for dinner, making it a point to kiss each other goodnight every night. This bond needs calm. But again, you know, the trash can side of Libra is about people pleasing and over giving or over promising or never being able to say no, things like that. So you can't do that with the Libra sun. It will go toxic and sour very fast. You have to be able to air things out in a way that is not dramatic. If it is, you need to smooth it out as fast as you can, because arguments or like walking on eggshells can really harm the energy of this relationship, because it needs calm, it needs harmony, it needs good manners. You don't want to be using the bathroom with the door open with each other with this. You want to keep it, you know, a little mysterious, a little flirtatious, respectful. Don't be crass. Any kind of crassness will zap the vitality here. But they must make sure that they're not over-promising for the relationship and sacrificing their own individual wellness. So both have to be in harmony for this. Not only the people in the relationship have to be in harmony, but the relationship and each individual has to be in harmony for fairness and calm and balance and harmony all the way around. Have a spine, but be nice. Okay, Sun in Scorpio, composite Sun in Scorpio. These two, a couple who has this composite sun, are powerful, powerful triggers for each other, no doubt. They probably psychoanalyze each other, probe into the depths of who they are in their relationship, a bit like psychotherapy. And that's good for this relationship to a point. They probably push each other's buttons, get to the bottom of everything, continually go deeper and deeper. But the caution here is that this can be profoundly healing, and it can be super like drama city. This relationship needs like this visceral connection, this deep, deep, deep visceral bond. And they will need to, they will want to understand all of the taboos, the fears, all the secrets. There's this deep diving that the relationship really needs, but that can be exhausting to a point. Everyone has to have a secret space within. You know, we all get to have secret chambers within that no one else has access to. And so this relationship can challenge that if you're unaware. The key here is to have respect and to acknowledge and know that your partner is allowed to have, you know, parts of them that you don't know. That's actually healthy. Something that would be really bad to do if this is your composite sun is to share intimate details about your relationship with people casually. That would feel probably like a very deep betrayal. And sometimes Scorpio energy doesn't recover from betrayals like that. Sometimes it's a one and done, like deal breaker, one, done. So not every person has the energy for this type of intensity. So it's important here to keep humor. Scorpio loves humor. Scorpio energy has a great sense of humor. So have a sense of humor about things. Have an environment and a culture of respect for each other and the relationship as its own being. And keep those boundaries intact. Loyalty is a must. And of course, having lots of sex. The composite sun in Sagittarius. With this couple, composite sun in Sagittarius, this relationship or this couple is on a journey, or the relationship is a journey. It's like sensory overload. This relationship wants to pack in like 100 lifetimes of experience into this one. It likes a lot of everything. They might want to ride roller coasters together. Anything that is thrilling or exciting would be fuel for this bond. Of course, international travel, if they can, you know, if they're able to do that, they should travel far and wide if they can, and make friends with people who speak other languages, learn another language together, visit foreign countries, anything that feeds the senses and stimulates their philosophical thinking. They may be religious. If it's not religion, though, it could be philosophy. You know, there's a certain, like the tenets of life. It will be important that they have a known set of like a moral culture in their relationship. It will be important for them each to know for sure if they're supposed to call, if they're going to be late for work, or if they're going to be home late from work. Do they have to call? Do they have to call and check in before they go visit a friend? You know, like the rules of the relationship need to be established. There needs to be like a set of rules, not as a restrictive set of rules, but just an understanding that everybody knows what the rules are. This bond is fed by adventure, by open roads, by planning ahead. They should spend some time every year together envisioning how they want the relationship to be in the following year. They're seekers. It's about the thrill and excitement that comes with just knowing that they are chasing that horizon ahead. It doesn't really matter when they get there. They just want to be on their way there. It's about the journey. So boredom and dullness is going to zap this relationship pretty fast. Okay, composite sun in Capricorn. So this relationship requires a very mature mindset and serious treatment. It needs to be treated seriously. The vitality here comes from treating each other with dignity, honor, conducting yourselves individually within the relationship and then together as the relationship with the highest of character. Commitment will eventually be required. And again, like Cancer, there's a sweet spot here. If you wait too long, the chance will pass. If you do it too soon, it'll be blown because it's too soon. There's not enough trust. This is a relationship that wants to be built with bricks, wants to be built on a solid foundation with dignity, honor, respect, maturity, true growth, you know, eating your vegetables, crossing all your T's and dotting your I's, all of that. Even if this relationship doesn't last, or even if you choose not to commit, the way that you treat each other as you part ways matters. You know, there is always the possibility that this relationship either existing in the first place or splitting up could affect your public reputation, or it could be some sort of public awareness about it, or just other, you know, a lot of people knowing. So if they do choose to commit, they can really climb the mountain together. They can achieve really solid, big things together. Hard work together is something that they will really enjoy doing. Even if it's only psychological, they don't have to literally go climb a mountain, but if they wanted to do that, they'd probably love it and the relationship would thrive, most likely. They should relate to each other gently, and with respect. They should never speak ill of each other to anyone. They should have each other's backs always, and it should be one of those things that is known. They should behave in that way to such a degree that everyone around them knows that they're not going to be petty about each other in front of anybody else. They may do it at home behind closed doors, but they're not going to do it in front of anybody. So not taking this relationship seriously, being irresponsible, being lazy, those things will suck the passion from this bond. Okay, composite sun in Aquarius. A lot of times my clients come to me with a composite sun in Aquarius, or just a lot of Aquarius in their synastry or in their composite chart, and they're really worried. They worry about various things. Is this relationship platonic? Is monogamy possible? Is it possible for this to last? And let me assure you that composite Aquarius sun is not any more difficult than any other composite sun sign. You just need to know what this relationship needs. It isn't that a composite sun in Aquarius is not good for commitment or anything like that. It just means that there's at least one aspect of this relationship that's going to be non-conventional or unconventional as far as, you know, general standards of normalcy, you know, for the normies. You know, it could be that they're radically committed, completely and totally monogamous. Maybe they don't live in the same house, or maybe they live in different cities. Maybe they never decide to get legally married. Maybe they decide to live on a houseboat, or just like there's just something unconventional. And if you have this composite sun and there's nothing unconventional about your relationship, start experimenting, because having an area of freedom within the relationship together is what feeds this bond. Maybe they live off grid and like raise heirloom mushrooms or something, or maybe they invent something together and live on the road selling it. You know, it's possible. I mean, Aquarius is the sign of genius inventions. So just experiment if you don't know where this energy is manifesting it, because it's going to want to manifest somewhere. And you can consciously look for somewhere for it to be, to increase the vitality of the bond. Things like trying to fit in, or like really being really super traditional, are probably going to zap some of the vitality from this relationship. All right, composite sun in Pisces. This is a very dreamy relationship that thrives on quiet time together. Moonlit walks, candles, even a meditation class or a yoga class together, if that's your thing. Anything that has any kind of sacred energy about it is going to feel very nourishing for this relationship. The relationship is their temple and must be treated as sacred. They really can't take each other too seriously, though, because you know, sacred doesn't have to mean stuffy. This relationship could require or encourage people to see beyond themselves. I call this zooming out. You know how you can be arguing back and forth, and then all of a sudden you realize that what you're arguing about is totally stupid, or you don't even remember what started it, and then you can sort of zoom out and laugh and let it go, and wasn't that so silly? There is a very deeply dreamy and romantic energy about this, though. They can feel as if that they are in, you know, that they have their own world, just the two of them, and that no one else exists. They can feel their love and their passion for one another by treating their love like a sacred thing, and it truly is. Night swimming would probably be a fun activity. They just need to make sure that they're not really projecting fantasies onto each other and refusing to see each other clearly, because that type of energy, you know, you can put your partner on a pedestal, but don't make it so high that you can't see who they really are. That type of thing can feel very romantic and dreamy, but you can only maintain that for a certain time, because eventually we all want to be seen and loved for who we truly are. So don't take yourself too seriously. Zoom out when you can, treat it like a sacred thing, and enjoy this Pisces composite sun relationship. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. As always, I appreciate so much your likes, your comments below. I always try to reply, and I would be honored if you would subscribe so you don't miss a thing. I will see you next week. I hope you're doing really well. Bye.